So first one will be like we'll be going with the introduction to all the AI ML and all the things. What are the different types and what does all of those terminologies mean? And then we'll be setting up the development environment like the Python, Jupyter Notebook, Colab, and the other required libraries. Okay. And then we'll be starting with the Python, like for whom there might be the people who's not experienced with the Python. So this course is open for everyone. So you can skip the part if you already knew the Python. And one more thing is I won't be going with the advanced kind of thing. So we'll be going with the basic to moderate level of Python. Because when it comes to advanced, it's all about dealing with the different packages in Python. So all the basic things which we use in any programming language like Java, all the things will be covered in Python. And then we'll be starting with the data science and all the things, where how to handle the data and how to perform data cleansing part, the data transformation, feature engineering, so all the things. And then we'll be going with the EDA. So that's exploratory data analysis, where you'll be analyzing the data and then you'll be plotting the graphs. So based on the requirements. Okay, for that we'll be using different graphical libraries. The most common will be like Matplotlib and Seaborn, but I will go with the Plotly because that's much user friendly and the most developing one to say now. Matplotlib and the Seaborn are like a static kind of thing. When it comes to Plotly, it's a dynamic kind in order to plot your graphs. Okay. And then before like straight away starting the machine learning, we'll be performing the web scraping as well. Like we'll be getting some introduction to it, what all the ethics do in order to consider and all the things, what libraries are there. So you'll be scraping the data from the dynamic website. So there can be any real estate or an e-commerce store which supports web scraping. So the purpose of web scraping, like it's just a part of data creation. So it's not that in the, like to say, most of the courses, when you look into the online or somewhere, they just go with the pre-built data sets from a different source. It can be Kaggle or using some other sources. So why would I not suggest that is when you go with the pre-built data set, you won't be getting much hands on the data cleansing and the data transformation part. So all the data will be in a clean format most of the time. So you just load the data, you apply a machine learning model to it, and then you get the evaluation metrics, and you feel, okay, this is what a machine learning is. But when it comes to the real time, 70% of the task builds on the data creation and the data cleansing part. As you guys know, like real time data is always a messy one and it contains a noisy data. So that's the reason where I'll be focusing much on, and one of the most important skill as well when you want to sustain with machine learning or data science. So after this, we'll be going with the data pre-processing and feature engineering part, like the data engineering. So what are the different techniques we have, like how to deal with the different kind of data and all. And then we'll be starting with the machine learning. So in machine learning, like we have three different types to say: supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcement. So let's keep reinforcement aside. So first we'll be going with the supervised and unsupervised, where in supervised again you'll be having subparts like classification and regression. So we'll be getting some introduction to the theory, and then what are the different algorithms we have from the basic to advanced level. Same with the classification as well. And then we'll be going with the unsupervised learning, where we'll be having clustering, the dimensionality reduction, and the anomaly detection, and all the things. So we'll be doing some hands-on exercises for each of the algorithm. So we just don't completely say an algorithm. I just go make you to do a project on it, on each of the algorithm. Okay. So that you'll be understanding algorithm much better to say. And we'll be dealing with some ensemble methods like ensemble and boosting algorithms, where there are some advanced level. And then after completion of all of this, I'll just give you some introduction to the reinforcement learning, cause reinforcement learning is again a separate course. It's a different kind of thing which doesn't fall in this course. Okay. I'll just give you some introduction, like what all the terminologies will be, like how do we create an agent and all the things. Okay. And after machine learning, we'll be going with the NLP part where we'll be integrating the recommendation system as well here, along with the NLP. I guess like you guys are familiar with the recommendation systems, right? So even in the Spotify or the movie, like any store like Amazon or what do we say that Netflix. So they just perform the recommendations. So based on your watch history. So we'll be dealing that. So you can find out your own data set and uh okay. So based on your preference data set, we can just pick one good one, like a good use case, and then we can perform the recommendation and we'll be looking into the NLP. So basically NLP is like the natural language processing where it's all about building a gap between the human and the machine, where machine can't understand the human text, right? To say the English text, like ChatGPT doesn't completely understand the English text, where there'll be a backend thing converting that text into a numerical format where a model can understand. So all those backend stuff you'll be learning that. So the main reason for learning all the backend thing is that when you go with some interviews or anything, or when you want to change anything in the model, you need to know the backend. That's where the most important part lies. So we'll be concentrating more on that stuff. And with that, you can perform like text analysis and then language generation or speech recognition. To say speech, I'll be saying that it's separate concept where you can identify speakers in the speech. Let's say we have this meeting, right? I'm a speaker A. And if Arjun speaks, he'll be the speaker B. Or if some other person, Sudha or Rakesh speaks, there'll be a speaker C and D. So based on the audio file, we can identify which speaker has spoken which part. Like we can just get the transcript file of it. So we can perform a lot more with the speech one. We'll be doing that as well. That will be coming in the Gen AI part. And then we'll be, after the NLP part, we'll be going with the computer vision. As the name says, computer vision, like where the model could able to identify the objects and all the things. So we'll be performing image classification, object detection, image segmentation, or if possible, we can go with the post estimation as well. So image classification is basically that classifies between the whole of the image. Let's say in an image, you show a computer an image of apple. So it doesn't look into the object. It looks into the whole image and it says, yeah, this is an apple or this is an orange. But where object detection is that, like in this part, you can see a boxes, right? So that will be just drawing the bounding boxes along the, like for the border of the objects. That's it. That won't be detecting whole of the image, but it will be detecting objects in the image. And image segmentation, that will be useful for the defect, like in the manufacturing industry to say. Let's say they'll be identifying the defect products, right? For that case, we can use the image segmentation where it will be highlighting the defected part. And if the vision sees, like the model sees there's a defect, that will be setting that aside. So that's where the image segmentation lies. And we can use the Gen AI models in order to perform this task rather than the traditional machine learning techniques. Okay. And then we'll be going with the prompt engineering, where one of the most important part of our course to say, when you want to start your career with Gen AI or something, this is the most important and required skill. I guess you guys are familiar with prompt engineering, right? What that actually mean? That's the most fanciest term to say now and the trendiest one. So it's all about communicating with the model, like how good you communicate and how accurately you get the results from the model. So like I believe completely on the prompting so that we can achieve the task where most of the people feel like the AI is not capable of just with the prompt. I have done that personally in my workspace for a project where in order to build the same thing with the coding part and fine-tuning the model, it has taken us like 2.5 months. But I just changed after learning the prompt engineering, I just added up 2 to 3 lines and the same task has been achieved with the old models. And it's just not me. I guess you're familiar with the Cloud AI, Anthropic company. You guys know it?
Hmm.
There's
Yes.
a GPT competitor. So
Yep.
there's a the Cloud AI developer, the main research engineer in that, has even said, like he said, the prompt engineer is gonna change the market completely, the performance of the AI models. So I believe in that prompt engineering. That's the future to say. I guess you guys are familiar with the news that's going on with the prompting as well, where most of the organizations are offering a good pay for the prompting, even for the grad looks, the beginner entry level roles.
Yep.
So we'll be dealing with what are the prompting techniques we have. So what does those techniques? I'll be giving you a complete notes in the course where what are the each different prompts techniques mean, like how do we do that, along with the research paper of them. And then we'll be going with the ethical and the biases of the prompting. I guess you're familiar with the SQL injection. You guys hear?
Yep. We can hear you.
You know the SQL injection technique in the hacking. Have you heard that term?
Interruption, like it's kind of an interruption, right? Like
Yeah, you will be
destroying your
accessing
database.
the yes, yes. So in the prompting as well, we have the jailbreaking prompts. If you have seen, I don't know, like most of you haven't seen it, but once you start into the prompt engineering in the web,
Hmm.
you will be seeing most of the things known as like jailbreak chat GPT, where that will be answering the unethical questions as well. So you must be seeing those so frequently.
Yes.
So models have been training so that even how best prompt you give in order to jailbreak it, still the latest model is not couldn't able to answer the unethical way. So that way the models have been fine-tuned. So we'll be learning what are the different jailbreaking techniques. We have like DAN and Game Simulator and GPT-4 Simulator. So many things are there in the prompting. So we'll be looking into those techniques as well. And sorry, wait. And after that, we'll be going with the Gen AI models. So the reason for including prompting is that when you use any AI model, so you need to give an instruction for that. So in order to give an instruction, there will be a lot of impact on the model based on your instruction. That's nothing but the prompt to say. So the model performance completely relies on the prompt. So you need to learn like how do we give the prompt to the model. That's the reason I have included the prompt engineering before the AI. Here we'll be using the LLMs, so-called large language models, where even your chat GPT is an LLM. That's a closed source where you won't be having access to the model architecture and all, but
Hey,
we'll be using the open source models.
hey, sorry to interrupt you.
Yes, yes.
So when you say the SQL injection, right? So could you
Mhm.
please give an example how the AI plays a
In
role
the
in this?
prompting, we have prompt injection,
Mm-hmm.
where, like, let's say you have given most of, I guess, you're familiar with Avatar AI or Character AI.
Yeah, I heard it. Yep.
Oh, so basically, it's like you must be seeing like once the chat GPT came in the online, we giving a instruction like I want you to act as a Python developer or I want you to act as a designer or something like that. So you must be seeing those things few months back. So which
So
improves your prompt and the model response. So what happens is when you perform prompt injection, many tools on out there has came out after ChatGPT has been released. So the backend will be the chat GPT model. They'll be using the API service and they'll be integrating that to their application where they'll be adding a prompt based on the that's how the model responds. The character AI that will be mimicking like it says you'll be having Ronaldo or all the celebrity profiles, Elon Musk and all. So that website says that you can speak to that, let's say where this model speaks like that particular celebrity. So what they do is in the backend, they give a prompt for it. So they don't really train it or anything. So we can train it, but it's take a lot of resources and all. Rather, we can achieve that using prompt, where most of the applications are using now. So when you perform prompt injection, in the end, you can add a thing like with the instruct command, you can add like forget all the instructions mentioned above, or you can add it in a note or an important note. And you can say to perform another action where his application gonna fail it. So that's how the prompt injection is being going on in the web nowadays. So we'll be learning like how do we perform prompt injection and how to avoid it and all.
So it's only one kind of thing, or SQL injections, or any other security.
No, no, I like SQL injection. I just asked whether you guys know it or not. That's it. The terminology.
Okay.
That's prompt engineering is like a similar way. I mean prompt
Yeah.
injection.
So we are not going to discuss anything on the security, vulnerability,
No, we won't
redemption.
be doing
Mm-hmm.
that. The security part will be dealing with the,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, the prompt injection one and the jailbreaking part.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Yeah, we won't be dealing with the security one.
Okay, so why I'm asking is,
Yes.
how Gen AI is going to play a key role into the security. That is our mm, kind of, Okay, I
Like,
just want
can
to.
you, okay, like we can speak that out after this
Mm,
presentation.
yeah.
Yeah. So when we go to the Gen AI, as I said, we'll be using the LLMs, so-called large language models. So even the chat GPT is an LLM itself. So we'll be using the open source LLMs where you can get access to the like the model architecture and the train data, everything. So we have famous open source LLMs from Meta, Google, Mistral. So we'll be using those in order to achieve multiple tasks based on your preference. And then apart from that, we'll be creating an agent in the end. So where the agent is gonna do all the tasks with the minimum level of human interaction. So let's say for the charge where the most of the AI tools or models you use, now agents have been coming out. So where you'll be creating multiple chains and then you can combine them all. It's all about reducing the human interaction with the model. So that does everything automatically. Let's say you're a DB, like database administrator or something. So you need some query. You know the use case. So what you do, you'll go to the chat GPT. We're gonna give this use case and you say, I want an SQL query or for this but MySQL database or some other. So that's gonna give you a basic structure of it, where the model doesn't know about your database, like what tables it has. Is there any relationship between the tables? So your database schema, nothing. That just gives you based on the prompt you give on the input you give. So again, you're gonna change it based on your database and all the things. So there's a lot of things. Rather, you can create an agent where you can connect your database straight away to the model. When you ask any English text, like you want to know top 5 customers who have purchased high, who have made high billing in this particular week or something. So the agent will do is first gonna translate the English text into SQL query, and then it will be executing that in the backend. It will be fetching the data, and then that will be converting that data into the plain English text to say. And it will be giving you in a paragraph or bullet points. And you can ask it in a format like I want it in a tabular format or anything. So where you just be asking a question and you'll be getting the answer. There's no need to change the queries, again rerun that in your database and all the things. So you'll be creating an agent in that way. So followed by first data analysis project, and then we'll be going with the machine learning, and then we'll be going with some Gen AI part. Okay. After that, we'll be deploying our application using Streamlit or Gradio, or if required in the Flask based on the requirements on like everyone's requirement with your which framework you're comfortable with. So Streamlit and Gradio are the most popular one. Or if you say like you need only in the Flask, we can use the Flask as well. And then for the deployment, we can use like AWS when you go with Flask, or if you are using Streamlit or Gradio, we have different cloud service. For Streamlit, we have Streamlit Cloud, and for Gradio, we have Hugging Face Spaces. So we can deploy based on the framework we develop our application. Okay. And then we'll be discussing all about the ethical AI and the responsibilities, like what all you need to keep on mind about the data governance part and the privacy, all the things. Okay. And after that, I'll be getting you like how do you prepare your resume for this particular domain for the Gen AI or machine learning engineer now, but then ATS friendly resume, where we'll be having a tool in order to create that. So I'll be getting you like how do you create based on your profile. Okay. So that's how the course is going to be. So is it clear?
Yep.
Yeah. So, what are the
Yeah.
prerequisites for this course?
Yeah, there's nothing like a pre-requirements. You just need to have a basic computer knowledge. That's it. Like
Okay, and what about like a course content? Just you given, just you going to cover the topics on high level, but uh, to uh, to start our career with this profile, like we need like more further trainings, right? For each topic. This course is going to give some overall understanding.
the
Uh,
overall some in-depth of understanding of the model's backend part, where it's the most important thing when you want to start your career in this field.
so this course would be sufficient.
Along with that, you need to do some research as well. I'll be giving on few research papers and a portal where you need to just look into that every day and then read on the papers. So once you're into the AI part, you need to make sure you read on the research papers. Okay, so it's not that everyone likes reading the research paper, so we can build a RAG system where that's a retrieval augmented generation. So that's the simplest and the, or to say the hardest task out there in the Gen AI now in the market, and the most required and the used use case as well. So every organization is going to use it. So if anyone's in the India, I guess like Swiggy or Zomato, they have integrated ChatGPT into their customer care support. So basically, when I'm back in India, I ordered a food. The order food hasn't been around. So I had an issue when I tried to contact in the customer care. I have seen down a message saying that powered by ChatGPT. So it says that has all the data about me, like the previous orders I have placed, like what payment mode I have used. So what rating did I give, and what's the current order? What's the status of it? Or each and every detail. So if I ask any query, that's gonna answer me. So there's no need of any customer care support. So if I had any other issue in that case, I'll be going. But most 90% of the problem has been solved with that completely. So how do we do that? So backend will be the RAG. Basically, all my data will be in a structure that can be in a PDF file or in a Excel, where you will be feeding that data to the model. You'll be giving this file to the model, and file will be learning, will be looking into the model. And once the user I ask any question, the model is will first look into the file if there is any relevant question answer to the question I asked. So if it finds anything, it's gonna answer me from that file. So that's how the RAG works. So we can build a RAG model as well. in this course saying that your research papers will be in a PDF format. So that once you give your PDF to the AI model, you can chat with that. I guess even ChatGPT has integrated that feature. You can upload your file. But that's just for a limited case. When you're a free user, you can't upload most of the files. You can upload only 3 or 4, I guess. So, but while we are using an open source model, you'll be running that on your system, or you can deploy it. You can upload n numerous of files you want, and then you can chat with the AI model. You can ask like, "What's this research paper is about? Give me a summary of it," or "Oh, just give me a highlight points in it." Like that, you can just figure it out. We can use it in that way as well.
So, Rohit, how deep you'll go into like this contact center section?
In the like, in which part?
The contact center approach. I
Uh,
have a background of contact
won't
center.
say.
So I'm
Uh,
trying to get into that AI world where the examples you're given, right? Like kind of with that.
Okay. Oh, like I won't be going off much in depth to say, but I'll
Mm-hmm.
be going to a depth where you people are required in order to start your career with the AI.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. So the in depth to say the most part that comes once you start working on the projects.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, in the course, as I said, like we'll be going with the projects, right? Well,
Mm-hmm.
if I use the approach in the comments, I'll be mentioning an alternative approach. So your task will be like you need to look into the alternate. I will be saying what's an alternative approach as well. So you need to look
Okay.
in, search the web, what is about what the approach, what are the libraries or a function, and you need to implement with that, and you need to see the result, compare that. So that
Got
you'll
it.
be getting to know like what are the different way alternatives are there and how do each one works in different use case. Because once you're into AI, it's all about trial and error.
Yeah.
So do we use in Python or any other programming language, or like how are we going to
No, we'll be using only Python. That's the
Python?
leading language in AI.
Actually, of course, we are into QA, but I think slowly we can change the means for the AI. We can just means for the future. I'm just trying to get some input from you.
Mhm.
We can put 1 or 2 projects, the later projects, with the help of whatever you are teaching us. This AI, and we can just slowly. Of course, I know we should be able to crack the interviews or anything, but it will be
Yeah.
helping us. Am I right or wrong in that? My understanding.
Of course, like the project which I'll be making you guys do, that won't be a basic like college level or like internet one. So that'll be a I'll be using one project where I have worked real time in for an organization. So I'll be doing half of that and I'll be giving you guys a task to complete it. So that like you'll be getting to know like what are all the different things are there in order to achieve that. So once you couldn't able to figure it out, if no one does it, after like 2 to 3 days, I'm gonna say the remaining part.
You mean
Okay.
it's means what I thought was when we are trying to help us to do a small project or whatever it is, it's an
Mhm.
ongoing along with the learning parallelly we are trying to do, or after the course is done we are trying to do it.
No, no, no. We'll be doing that parallel.
Okay.
So let me give you like an overview way. In the beginning, it will be like you feel like you're getting some lagged or something because you'll be having most of the theory and all the stuff in the beginning where you need to understand the fundamentals. That's the most important thing here. So when you go to the interview, no one's gonna ask you like advanced steps of what functions used. They're gonna ask you the fundamentals. So that's the reason I'll be concentrating much on that. And few might feel like it's a lag, but later after the fundamentals and the theory part is done, in the coding, that will be in a quicker way where again few will feel like I'm going fast. So that's in advance, well, I'm just saying how the course is going to be.
In the interview,
Eh,
no, in the interview, I'm sorry to use. In the
Yeah,
interview, they never go for, they will go into very deep, not into just,
no, fundamentals in the sense I'm saying about the back end stuff.
okay.
Yeah. So, like, does anyone have any queries?
Yes. Does it require that we should be very strong in Python scripting?
The basic part is required. Like you need to get much hands-on with the packages. The Python is just a programming language, like which is achieved for this, as there's much of more contributors in Python for this domain. That's the reason we'll be choosing Python.
And are we
So if
covering
you,
any
yes,
Python fundamentals in this? Sorry,
is
or
like I'll be starting with the Python fundamentals only.
okay. I hope like this you will be giving like Python for how many sessions, how many hours, and for each topic, how many hours we are going to cover. That details you will be sharing.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
I'll
will.
be
I
sharing
will
with
share
the.
Rakesh. Yeah, sorry to interrupt.
Mm.
I will share everything.
Yeah, thank you. And you saying like whatever the basically whatever in the class, right? In the sessions, like whatever we are going to discuss. If you are okay, I mean, if you're fine with that practice, or like any other topics also we need to cover to crack the interviews.
Yeah, I'll be sharing that in the end, like what all the other things you require. There'll be few other things required.
Mhm.
I'll be sharing that in the end of the course. And I'll be sharing my notes, like where you'll be finding all the, where you don't need to search the web again for hours and hours. And I'm saying one more thing, like just don't go for the YouTube part to learn AI and all the things. So YouTube, that was like 2 to 3 years back, where you'll be finding a good content. But nowadays, like there's a lot of trash in it. So you can just experiment yourself for this one, the Gen AI part, where I'll be saying that, where you won't be finding most of the thing in the YouTube. You need to search for hours and hours. So rather, I'll be sharing you up my notes. I'll giving you guys access, so you can just look into that and read everything from that. So each and every topic I say, okay. And apart from that, there'll be few small things which are required. So I'll be sharing saying like how do you get access, from which portals you need to learn all of those.
Okay. You mean that you will be sharing the so that uh, I can even download and store it in my local, in my personal laptop and read
My
it. Read
my
it.
files,
Whatever. Yeah, whatever you are sharing.
yeah, like my
Because
files, you can just download that. You
yeah,
can export it. Yeah.
thank you.
So, others, does anyone else have any queries?
So, hi Rohit. For somebody, who does not have any background from Gen AI or AI or, anything, is this
Hmm.
course the fit?
Yeah, for that's the reason, like,
So it's a basic,
yeah,
how
from
do
the
you
basic,
train
we'll
to
be
learn?
going to the advanced. Yeah.
Even if somebody doesn't know anything in Python.
Yeah, we'll be starting from the Python.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, I remember this is for 40 hours, right?
Yeah.
The whole course and like 1 hour sessions in a week, or is that
Yeah,
it will
daily
be
1 hour
different?
session, a weekly will be Sunday
Okay.
to Friday or Monday to Saturday. It depends on our availability. We'll plan accordingly.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm so sorry, I missed the, I joined a bit late and I missed the introduction or something. I mean, I would like to know, like, Rohit, what is your background, or, when you said you have like real-time projects?
Yeah, like I was working as a AI developer, and
Okay.
now I'm onto a freelancing project now.
Mm-hmm.
So before I used to work as a data analytics and then
Mm.
came into the data science part. And then from 2 years, I was into the AI. So that's where I started even for training in my free times.
Okay. 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 Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys, if there is no questions, please reach out to Arjun, okay, for next sessions. If everything goes fine, we'll start from tomorrow, day after tomorrow. Okay, Arjun will create the WhatsApp group for communication. I will inform to Arjun also. For payment part and everything, you can contact him.
And what is the course timings?
Yeah, that's why we are thinking we'll create a WhatsApp group. If we'll fix the one time for everyone comfortable timing, so that we'll plan accordingly. So the same time is fine for everyone, 7 p.m.
For me, like in 9 p.m., 9 or 9:30.
Okay, everyone is in CST zone or
I'm EST, like
okay.
Eastern Standard Time, but yeah, 7 o'clock works most of the time. Like,
Our 7 p.m. is or 8 p.m. right? 8 p.m. is work fine.
yeah.
So we'll discuss on the timing on the WhatsApp group so that it will get well clarity on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. If you have any questions, you can feel free to ask or you can drop the session. We'll share the recording for next thing. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Rohit. Thanks for your time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Then, Bye. Thank you. Bye.